Hello, I'm Jim Burpee, President and CEO of the Canadian Electricity Association. Every year in Canada, an unacceptable number of electrical contacts are made with energized power lines. A significant number of these contacts are made on the construction site and are the result of non-electrical work conducted in the proximity of electrical infrastructure. The corporate utility members of the Canadian Electricity Association take this matter very seriously. As part of a national effort to reduce the number of these potentially deadly electrical contacts, CEA's Occupational Health and Safety Program has produced this video to reduce risk through education and awareness. I hope you can learn from this video, the second installment in our series, Electricity, the Invisible Killer. Thank you and be safe.
Or the summer, actually.
Welcome everyone. First I want to let everyone know that this week we have a camera crew with us and they're gonna document everything that we'll be doing. It's purely for educational purposes. That's what they told me. It's not for your evaluation. First, great job on finishing up the job on Bell Street. Good job, guys. I hear that there was an incident over the weekend where an overhead crane hit a power line. There was no fatality, but there was some serious injury. Mark, you were the first one on the scene. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, I got a phone call at 2. I was just about to do some yard work, and well, I got the phone call, and I didn't have to do any yard work, so I was excited about that. Anyways, yeah, I got to the site at about 2 o'clock, and by that point, the crane already moved out of position and an ambulance came by to pick up the victim and bring him to the hospital. From what they told me, the crane operator drove in following the safe work plan, but the dumpster was in a way blocking the road, access to the road, so he deviated from that plan, went around on the other side of the building, outside a safe work zone, parking itself too close to the overhead cable. There's an operator on the ground, no groundsman watching overhead. There was a groundsman holding on to the scaffold, not paying attention of the overhead lines. The boom came too close, touched the cable, and the groundsman got shocked.
All right, Mark, thank you. There was no fatality, but nobody was looking for potential hazard. For you apprentices coming with us this summer, tell us what should have been done.
Well, yeah, first off, you shouldn't ask Mark to cut your grass. He's no help at all, eh? So yeah, in this case, you should always be checking for the hazards. Like in this case, it would be the overhead power lines. Also, I would like to know what are the safe limits of approach for near overhead lines. I know in our jurisdiction, it's 3 meters.
What's that in feet?
Okay, that's 10 feet for you folks that are non-metric, eh? Another thing to keep in consideration is when you're operating a piece of equipment near energized apparatus, you should keep your workers a minimum of 10 meters outside of that piece of equipment. And for your non-metric folks, you know, that's 30 feet.
Why 10 meters?
Well, if the machine comes in contact with the energized lines, the whole ground surrounding the machine will become energized, and there is a risk of step potential or even touch potential.
A touch potential is when your body will become the path for the electricity to flow to the ground when touching an energized object or power line. By creating this path for current to flow through your body, this may result in serious injury or death. A step potential is when your feet is situated between 2 different electrical voltage zones. Your body is then used as a path in which the current flows from one side to the other. For example, if one foot is located in a voltage zone of 10,000 volts and the other foot is located in a voltage zone of 6,000 volts, then the potential difference of 4,000 volts causes current to flow through your body. This may result in serious injury or death.
What else, Stefan?
Yeah, it sounds like there were a couple of contributing factors that led to this incident. First off, they deviated from their work plan and they choose to set the crane outside of their safe work zone, they should have reassessed the hazards. Like in this case, it was the power lines. If they would have noticed that, nothing would have happened.
How about the second factor?
Well, a dedicated observer would have helped the operator notice the power lines.
Yeah, they must have been in a big rush to finish that work on Sunday. They should have known they could call us if they have any problem or any concern about the lines. I know they had safe work plan, but incidents like this should never happen. I know it's hot out there, so drink lots of water and look out for each other. Have a safe day. Thank you.
Well, it's another beautiful day outside, eh?
Yeah, sure. They're forecasting for rain later today.
Morning, guys.
Hi, how are you doing? How are you?
Excellent.
Morning.
I have a new apprentice with me today. His name is Stefan.
Good stuff.
So he's going to lead us anyway with what's going on today here.
Oh, excellent. Welcome.
Well, first off, you should identify all the electrical equipment on the site. I see there are some overhead wires in the area, but have you located the underground cables?
Yes, we did get the locates completed, and the area is free of any underground electrical equipment.
Okay, what else, Stefan?
We recommend educating all workers working near live wires. Electricity can arc over, meaning you don't need to make direct contact with the equipment. There are some safe minimum distances that the workers should be aware of. It changes from jurisdiction to jurisdiction and depending on the operating voltage, but in our jurisdiction, it is 10 feet or 3 meters.
Okay, excellent. We've identified that in our safe work plan, and we do communicate that with all of our workers at the start of each shift.
If for any reason you have to work within the safe limit, make sure that contact us. We either disconnect the service or even relocate the line so that you can work safely around the area.
Yeah, we encourage people calling us instead of taking risks. Electricity is very unforgiving.
Now you can say that again. We do our best to remind the workers of the dangers that they face with energized electrical equipment on the job.
Any other recommendations, Stefan, that Pete can do is work safely around this area?
Yeah, complacency can be a problem. You should consider putting up signs for truck drivers, making sure they're aware of the overhead wires in the area. You know, when work gets repetitive, mistakes can happen.
Hey, he's pretty good, the kid, eh?
Yeah, you better watch it. He'll be after your job.
Oh, I'm not worried. I'll have a few more years. Hey, what he's doing there?
hey,
stop!
I'll
Hold
call the
it.
control room.
Okay, Stefan. Whoa, stop, whoop. Don't move. Stay in your cab, don't move. You're safe. You are right in the overhead wires. So don't move, stay calm. We're gonna send for a crew to de-energize the wire. And you, Peter, you go and tell all your workers to stay out of the 30 feet or 10 meters from the truck, okay?
Well.
In case of accidental contact, it is recommended that you stay in your vehicle. In case of an emergency where you need to exit your vehicle, such as a fire, please follow this method in order to avoid fatal injury due to both step and touch potential. Firstly, avoid touching any metallic surfaces as much as possible. Do not touch a metallic surface while attempting to touch the ground. If possible, jump from the cab of the vehicle and land with both feet together. To avoid the hazards of step potential, do not separate your feet. Hop or shuffle away from your vehicle, keeping both feet together until you're well outside the energized zone of 10 meters.
You know, Pete, it happens all the time. They move forward and they forget about the overhead wires.
Hey, I set up a safety perimeter.
Okay, great. So go back and call the office and to tell them to send a crew to de-energize the service and they can disconnect it later on, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Stay in there, don't move, you're safe in there. A crew gonna be here shortly and de-energize the service to help you to get out of there. Too bad, we're gonna have some paperwork to fill up later on though.
We have a report of a line contact at 206 Steels. You copy that?
All right, roger that.
Okay, Stefan, you can head over to our next appointment and I'll wait here until the crew arrive. So when they're done cleaning up there, I'll ask them to bring me over to the next site, okay?
Alrighty, sounds good.
Okay, take care. Hi, Stefan. How are you? Don't worry about the camera. We just want to record your version of events for the incident that occurred May 19, 2013 at 127 Steeles. There was a fatality from electrical contact and you were the first on the scene for us. Can you tell me what happened?
Well, we were leaving the first scene. Then we got the call on the radio saying that there was a construction crew that made contact with overhead lines. So I rushed to the scene. As I got there, the first responders were already working on the victim. Prior for that accident to happen, there was a safety plan already made up for these workers not to approach our lines. Prior that week, we already showed up and put safety barriers on the lines, such as rubber cover-up. And we told them it's not for personal protection, it's for visuals only. We had a temporary disconnect planned for them so they can work around our lines safely. But when I showed up, the scaffolds were already up. They were working on them.
So let me guess, they keep on working.
Yeah, it just happened so fast. They had all their barriers up, they had their PPE on, but only if they would have waited a bit longer for us to come and isolate and de-energize the lines for them to approach them. If they would have just followed the work plan that we came up with, then everything would have happened well, but they choose to ignore the work plan and they didn't wait for a disconnect that day, and if they would have waited, it'd still be alive, right?
Sorry to hear that. It is not your fault. We have arranged for counseling. Take some time off and let me know if you will be ready to come back to work Thursday.
Thanks, Chief. Another great day, just what I needed.
That's pretty good, Stefan. So, how are you doing? There's Pete. How are you doing,
Hey
Pete?
guys, how are you?
Very good, very good, thanks.
Glad to see you again. Good. You guys still have a camera crew following you around?
Oh yeah, he thinks he's a big star now.
How's it feel to be famous, huh?
Hey, we're just like rock stars, eh?
If you ever quit that job, you might be able to do some movies, God knows.
Well, maybe one day, huh?
Yeah, hopefully.
So what's going on here today?
Well, today we're building a garage next to this building.
Okay, great.
And we're just getting started with the foundations.
Okay, good. So did you get your locates done?
I thought you guys were going to get that done.
Then why has he started digging already?
Hey, stop, Tony! Stop, Tony! Hold it! Hold it, Tony! Shut your engine!
What's going on? I have a deadline to meet. I gotta have these done by Friday.
Yeah, deadline is nice, but you better be sure that you're not dead. Like, you have to make sure that yourself and all the equipment is secure here, that there's no underground cable or overhead wire. So, Stefan can explain to you the potential here of danger that could happen. Okay, Stefan, explain to him.
Well, first off, Tony, have you noticed the overhead power lines that you're digging underneath? And how are you certain that there aren't any underground cables in the area? You have no locates. That's what we're here to do. Our map showed that there is some underground primary cables in the area. We will locate that for you so you know where it is. And when you're operating the machine that requires locates from the utility, you should always remember that anybody not operating the machine should stand at least 10 meters away. It is not safe for you to operate this machine having workers around in the area. If you make contact with them cables, the whole machine will become energized. Some serious injuries can occur, or even electrocution.
Last year there was a fatality with a directional drilling operator. An operator and another worker were drilling, and from what I was told, the operator was working from the ground as opposed to sitting down. I was told he found it easier to see what he was doing. That shouldn't matter if it is dangerous. Anyway, the drill contacted the underground primary wires and he was electrocuted. To make matters worse, the other worker watching him tried to run towards him. Once he ran into the electrified zone of 10 meters, he too was injured. Had the machine operator been working from his seat, he would have been fine. As for the other guy, well, he was shocked due to the step potential. Had he stayed outside the 10-meter radius, he would have avoided injury. He was lucky. He could have died too.
Okay, Stefan, what are the 4 things you have to remember when working around electrical equipment?
There's 4 steps you always have to remember. Step 1, you gotta make sure there is no underground cables in the area that you are willing to dig. Also, you always gotta maintain your minimum safe distances near the overhead power lines in the area. Step 2, follow your safe work procedures. Third, if you deviate from your safe work plan, stop all work and reassess all hazards. Fourth, do not become a casualty. If there is an electrical accident, make sure all your co-workers stand a minimum of 10 meters away. You should stay in the machine, unless it starts to catch on fire. All right, Tony, good thing nothing happened here today. Now take a break and we'll get some locates done for you.
Okay, Tony.
When preparing to work on a construction site, there are 4 steps that should be followed. Step 1. Safety is everyone's responsibility. Know and follow your safe work plan. Know the safe distance from electrical equipment. Step 2. Establish a safe work plan with your local electric utility. Include safety distances to stay away from electrical equipment. Include controls and barriers for electrical equipment. Step 3. A change in work plan? Contact local utility. Stop the work and contact your local utility. Communicate the adjusted plan with all workers. Step 4. Don't become a casualty. Maintain the appropriate distance away as specified by your local utility.